So, picture this, a world where trees talk to each other, where octopi solve puzzles, and fungi form an intricate connection beneath our feet. It's not fiction, it's the hidden intelligence of nature just waiting to be found or to be seen. Today I want to give a little review, a little taste on 3 of my favorite books about this topic, the hidden sort of intelligence in nature. I found these to be amazing books, so I just wanted to share them. The first of the 3 books is Other Minds. As you can see, I found it here on Goodreads. This is the book I read. Some of the interesting things in this book is how intelligent these octopi is. Throughout the book, we hear about how some octopuses solve problems in their environment, opening stuff, making the lights short circuit by squirting water at it so the light turns off, and repeatedly only squirting water at certain scientists. We hear how the octopi can almost see with its fingers, arms. But the thing I find most wild about octopi is their consciousness. It's almost like there is, like the title, another mind, another evolutionary mind. Because octopi and humans split in the evolutionary line a long time ago, so both octopi and humans evolved consciousness. So it's sort of the closest thing we come to aliens, sort of. Because it's evolved on its own, and it just baffles me. We also hear in the book how the arms almost have their own sort of mind. There is a theory in the book where basically all of the arms have their own mind, and then in the center of the octopus, where we would guess the brain is, there also is a kind of mind or a brain, we could say. But the ratios between neurons in the arms and in the brain of the octopus is not like us. It has much more brain outside in the arms. So these arms are almost their own being, or they have their own will. They can explore one thing and taste it and feel it and see it, while another arm is doing the same with something different. And then if it's something that tastes good, it will signal the rest of the octopus, the other arms and the main brain, and then the whole octopus will engage with whatever the one arm found. It's amazing. So, in conclusion, Other Minds makes you reconsider consciousness and how unique our consciousness is, and if other animals have other kinds of consciousness and intelligence. So, the second book of the 3 is Entangled Life. One of the main points is how fungi and mycelium is sort of this worldwide web that's just interconnected with everything, with the trees, with other plants, with almost the animals, everything in the forest. And this worldwide web of fungi shows this different kind of intelligence, where it's sort of decentralized. It doesn't have a brain, but it's just this whole network just storing information. And if one part of the network finds something, well, food, it can redirect the rest of the network, and it sort of knows which way to go across vast distances. And this is also what I would call intelligence. To be able to move in a certain direction and communicate these informations through the whole fungi to coordinate which way it wants to go. Another thing we see with these fungi is this problem-solving ability again. How, I think it's in Japan, but I'm not sure, that they use a certain species of fungi where they place oats around, mapped like a big city or a big land, where more oats means there are more people living there. And then they use a fungi to make a network between these oats to make the most efficient routes. And after this, they actually use this better infrastructure in real life. So this fungi is really good for this path finding. And then the last thing about fungi is this mutual beneficial relationship with other plants and organisms. we see how fungi insert itself into trees, and trees not minding because they have this beneficial sort of connection where the trees can't make energy themselves. They have to get it from somewhere, where the trees can make it from the sun. So the trees let the fungi get some of the energy, some of the sugars it makes, and the fungi in return help with pest control, or with helping with some certain chemicals that the fungi is better at breaking down than the tree. And they have this relationship where they help each other. So the tree gets a benefit, but the fungi also get a benefit. So again, with fungi, we have this profound intelligence in a place we don't expect. And that leads me, of course, on to the trees, which is the third book. And the third book is called The Hidden Life of Trees. So this last book explores how trees have this vast, intricate communication network, also like the fungi, and how the trees almost have these emotional lives, and how they sort of care for the saplings have these emotional lives where they care for one another and care for their saplings, and also sometimes other trees of different species, but mostly their own species. So the first thing about trees is, of course, their connection to fungi, and how these two completely different species works together in a mutual beneficial deal. The really interesting part about trees specifically is how they signal to each other, how they can use chemical signaling to send messages to other trees or to call for help. If a tree have a problem with a certain insect trying to eat it, or eating its leaves or something, it can produce certain chemicals that attract natural predators to this insect that's damaging the tree. So it can almost call for help from other species. It can signal to other trees if it's being attacked, so the neighboring trees can start to produce toxins, so it can sort of make this coordinated defense against attacks. And the last thing about trees is how they care for one another, how they have this social support, helping samplings or helping damaged trees by sending energy over and making it able to survive, because it's beneficial for both the damaged and the rest of the trees to help one another out. Yeah, so overall, this book really shows yet another kind of intelligence in nature where we didn't think to look. So to summarize, these 3 books, why should you read them? I think you should read them because you get an insight into nature. You get an insight into different perspectives. You almost evolve, or you get a bigger understanding of how nature is interconnected, deeply interconnected, and how much intelligence there is that we're just not seeing because we look at nature as this stupid place, sort of, where humans is the only intelligent living thing there is. But that's just not true. That's why I think these 3 books really help to foster that understanding that we should care for nature. We should be deeply amazed by it and just appreciate it. I really recommend all of the books, but if you plan on going to the forest, I really recommend before or during your trip to the forest listening to The Hidden Life of Trees, because you just get a different appreciation for the life and how the trees work. So if you like this content and if you like this video, give it a like and write a comment. What are your thoughts? I'm really just curious to get to know what people think about stuff, because so much is interesting to me. I think that's it. Thank you all for watching. See you another day. Goodbye.